Ma'am, look here, ma'am. Hello, look here. Ma'am, look here, ma'am. Okay, done. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to each one of you. May I now kindly request everyone to take your seats as we get ready to kickstart this extraordinary celebration. Today is all about joy, nostalgia, and reconnecting, celebrating the remarkable journey of the legendary 1970 batch. Let's all make it a day to remember. We are thrilled to have you all back on campus, celebrating this special day. We have a wonderful day planned for the batch of 1970 and are delighted to have you all here today. The program will begin shortly. Thank you. A very good morning to everyone gathered here. What an absolute delight to welcome the extraordinary class of 1970 today. You are truly a legendary batch, witnesses to a time when IIT Madras was still in its first decade, laying the foundation for the incredible legacy it holds today. You were here when technology was simpler, but dreams were just as bold, and your contributions over the years have proven that some of the finest minds were shaped during your time. I'm sure today will bring back a flood of memories from late-night study sessions to lifelong friendships that began right here. This morning, as we celebrate you and your timeless bond with IIT Madras, let's relive those moments, share laughter, and create new memories together. Here's to the class of 1970, a batch that has set the bar high for all of us to follow. Let us now begin this auspicious morning with an invocation. I now invite you all to rise for the Tamil Thai Valthu, followed by Vande Matram.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே 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 வந்தே மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுஃபலாம் மலயஜ ஷீதலாம் சஸ்யஷ்யாமலாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் शुभ्रज्योत्स्नां पुलकितयामिनीं फुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्.
To set the tone for this wonderful gathering, a celebration of 55 years of togetherness, I now invite Ms. Sujata Dubey, Vice President of Alumni Relations, Office of Institutional Advancement, to deliver the welcome address. Let's put our hands together to welcome our dear Sujata ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor and my privilege to welcome you all back to your home for this wonderful reunion. I'm from the class of 1983. Chemical engineering, and by the time I was a student, we had girls in class. Somebody actually asked me that a little while ago. Also, I think you started in 1965 when the first buildings were probably ready. Today, we have organized a small campus tour, and you'll get to see how the campus has grown from your days to now. I want to apologize on behalf of Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, who is our Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations. He unfortunately couldn't be here because he is traveling, but he has come online and he will be addressing you after me. I'll just tell you the agenda for the morning. It's a very short program. We hope to wind up the official program by about 11 o'clock. Then there's a a group photograph of the batch. After that, we have organized a small campus tour and then lunch. During the campus tour, some of you have asked for different visits, and we have organized all that. We hope that you have a wonderful time meeting each other and also getting to see how IIT has changed and grown in the years since you were here. Thank you once again for coming, and thank you especially to all the spouses for accompanying your alumni spouses here. It's wonderful to see you all here. And I will now give the mic back to Angelina. We will be asking Professor Ashwin to join online now. Thank you.
I now I take great pleasure in inviting Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, Dean Alumni and Corporate Relations, who's joining us virtually from US to deliver this welcome address. Let's put our hands together to welcome him.
Thank you, Angelina. Can somebody just confirm that I'm audible? Okay, great, thank you. So, first of all, very good morning to all of you. I know several of you from your batch, but for those of you who I may not have met yet, my name is Ashwin. I'm also an alumnus of IIT Madras. I was from the class of 1998. Almost 3 decades after all of you graduated, civil engineering, Godavari Hostel. I am a professor in civil engineering, but a few months ago, I took over from my predecessor, Professor Mahesh Panchagnula, as the Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations. And I'm thrilled to welcome all of you back to the IIT Madras campus. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there. I really wanted to be there. But, unfortunately, we have this thing called the IIT Madras Foundation in the US. And the IIT Madras Foundation conducts an annual planning meeting towards the end of January, for which I had to come to the US, and I wasn't able to get back in time. But I hope all of you have a wonderful reunion. I think this batch is actually a very special batch for IIT Madras in many ways. First of all, I think it is what several of the early batches did that has made IIT Madras what it is today, because all of you, after graduating from IIT Madras, went out and had such stellar careers that everyone has since then really respected IIT Madras and the people who come out of IIT Madras. And that, I think, those stones were laid by your batch and perhaps some of the other early batches. So we're very, very grateful to the things that all of you have done. In addition, I know several of you have also been great well-wishers of IIT Madras. As the camera is panning the audience, I see a few familiar faces. I see DC sitting there, and DC has, of course, spent a lot of time helping us think through how we engage with alumni, our fundraising strategy and things like this. I saw my former colleague, Professor N. Raghavan there, and he spent a lot of time with us in the civil engineering department, really giving a thrust to lean construction. I'm not sure I can see, but of course we're all sitting in the TTJ auditorium, and TTJ of course is also an alumnus from this batch. So this batch has done quite a bit for IIT Madras. So we are very thrilled to welcome you here. You'll probably hear a lot more about IIT Madras and what's happening and so on, as the session progresses. But IIT Madras is now in a very good place. We, as you know, have been ranked as the #1 university in India, both in the engineering sciences as well as in the overall category by the National Institutional Rankings framework, and we've been ranked #1 ever since the start of the rankings. And so this has not just been the case for the last year or so, but it's been the case for several years. We continue to attract extremely smart students who really blossom at IIT Madras, not only through the courses that they take and the projects that they do with faculty, but also through things like the Center for Innovation, where they themselves can go in and start innovate and develop products and really be engineers doing things with their hands. There was a little bit of a concern in between that we were getting too theoretical, that people were not really doing things with their hands. Of course, batches like yours spent a lot of time in the workshops. From what I can understand, you spent whole week of workshop and then maybe a week in classes. My batch had it a little bit easier. we only did a few sort of sessions a week. But I think now students are really doing things with their hands. We have also been able to attract a really top class group of faculty. I know some of the very early faculty were absolute doyens in their field, and today's faculty, I would like to say, are no less, perhaps even a notch better as far as research and so on is concerned. Many of our faculty, come with training and PhDs in the US, in Europe, and in other places, and bring a lot of these kinds of methodologies and rigor to the understanding and solving of problems in India. So that's going on really well also. There is a very innovative, there's also some accusations of academia in general saying that we are very theoretical, that we are sort of not really impacting practice while we may be publishing several papers. So now what's happened is, while we do publish a lot of research papers, there are also a lot of patents that we file. I think last year we filed almost 400 patents, which is more than a patent a day. And our innovation ecosystem is now home to about 400 startups that have come out in the last maybe 10 years or so, several of which have been fantastic successes, very high valuations, creating a lot of commercial as well as social impact. And perhaps you might have a chance to see some of them now or later. So we have again a very strong teaching research ecosystem. We work a lot with industry today. Just outside our campus we have the research park, where many companies have headquartered their R&D divisions so that they can work in an arm's length relationship with IIT Madras. We've also started to think bigger. We've also started to think internationally. The aspiration is not only to be the #1 university in India, which we have been for several years, but to also see if we can be one of the best universities, if not the best university in the world. So we've started really looking at ourselves globally. Several of you may have heard of the fact that we've established a campus in Zanzibar in Africa. It's the first IIT Madras. It's a full-fledged campus. There are buildings, students come there, they stay in hostels, take classes, things like this. And we hope that we can actually start our outreach towards many part of particularly the developing world. Places like the US have fantastic universities already. Places like Africa are where we can make a large impact. And like people said, we've IITs have done quite a bit in terms of nation building for India. Why can't we do it for other developing nations? And so I think we're starting to look much more international also. So the IIT Madras of today is probably very different from the IIT Madras that all of you left behind 55 years ago. But in some sense, I feel is really built from the foundations that all of you helped lay along with the professors of the time, to get to an institution that I think we can all be justifiably proud about. And like I continue to emphasize, this is partly because of what the IIT Madras leadership has done. It's partly because of what our faculty and students have done, but it's also partly because of what alumni like you have done over the last 5 decades in terms of setting standards, building a reputation, helping us through a variety of means. And if we are to achieve our goal of being the #1 or one of the best universities in the world, we can't do it without alumni. And so we really look forward to working with all of you and others also continuously over a period of time to take us to that position. But for now, I just want to welcome all of you back to the IIT campus. I know it's always fond memories when you come in, when you see your hostels, when you go to some of the old buildings that were probably there when you were there. So and it's fantastic to see that so many of you have turned up. I have to say I'm a little bit embarrassed. I'm from the class of 98, and when we do our reunions, only a fraction of us seem to turn up, even though we are much younger and probably much more active and things like that. So, and it's fantastic to see that many of you also brought your families with you, because I think that's what is really more, is really important, that it's not just individuals, but families get together, and that's how IIT Madras strengthens itself. And so I really hope you all have a wonderful reunion at IIT Madras, experience nostalgia, walk through memory lane, and go back with a sense of enjoyment, having relived those old memories. But we also hope that you will keep coming to IIT Madras irrespective of whether it's a reunion or not. I know several of you do, but even others, whenever you're in Chennai, please stop by. IIT Madras is your institution. We've all built it together, and we really look forward to having you continue to come to campus and interact with us. It's a real inspiration to us. So thank you very much. Again, very sorry I couldn't be there. I would really wanted to meet many of you in person, but I really hope you guys have a wonderful 55th reunion. Thank you all so much. And congratulations on 55 years of graduation.
Warm welcome and for setting the stage for what promises to be an extraordinary celebration today. Next, we are honored to have Mr. Kaviraj Nair, CEO of the Office of Institutional Advancement, who's joining us virtually from US to address the gathering. Please join me with a great round of applause in welcoming him virtually.
Thank you, Angelina. I just want to check if I'm audible. I think so. Right? I hope you can hear me. Yeah, hi.
Yes, you're audible and we can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Angelina. Hi. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you to the campus again. And I'm also traveling along with Ashwin, and hence, not being able to be present there in person, and my sincere apologies for that. In fact, as Ashwin mentioned, we all derive great inspiration and great inspiration from all of you, very senior alumni of IIT Madras, and certainly look forward to getting a lot of mentorship and a lot of guidance from all of you as we move forward. And as Angelina mentioned, I lead the development office at IIT. I'm from the batch of 1999, not even born when you graduated actually. So our office take care of alumni relationships and corporate relations. As Ashwin mentioned, several of the senior alumni in this batch have supported the institute in so many ways, and we are extremely grateful to all of you for all the support that you have been giving to the institute, and also for turning up in such large numbers for today's event. Maybe I'll just mention a few things about the changes that I have observed in the last few years. I have been in this role for the last 4 years, and maybe some of the changes that I observed in the last 4 years I could talk about. Right. So a couple of things. One, IITs are definitely transforming from an undergraduate teaching institute to a research-focused institute, be it in terms of the number of intellectual property rights that we are filing for, patents that we are filing for, or be it in the number of terms of the in terms of the number of PhD graduate students recruitment that we are doing. So we have now about 450 students getting recruited into the PhD program every year, which means that more than about 2,500 PhD students across all 4 years are floating around in the campus across different disciplines. And there is certainly, it is because we believe, and we also started some of the dual degree programs with a view to keeping our undergraduate students for the master's program also. And all of these align with the national mission to do more of in-depth scientific technology research work in the country as part of Make in India and all of that, for which we do definitely need a lot of people with PhDs and deep domain expertise. So that is one part of it. And IITs as a whole, that there is clearly a move to increase the number of women in STEM and women in technology, right? This is because now there is a separate admission merit list for women students. We in IIT Madras itself have 6 women hostels as opposed to the one which we had previously. It's a very progressive move, and we do run a lot of programs like Women Leading IIT with a view to coaching and preparing our our faculty members, women faculty members, to get them promoted to positions of administrative responsibility like the deans and the director and all of that. In fact, Professor Preeti Aghalayam is the first woman director of any IITs anywhere. She is now the director of IIT Madras in Zanzibar. So there is clearly a move towards supporting women candidates, and we also do that through a lot of fellowships and scholarships and all of that, PhD fellowships and all of that for women research scholars to help them navigate smoothly through the PhD program. by giving them grants which will allow them to, for example, take a nanny along to take care of the baby if they have to travel for a conference and things like that. So there are several very progressive initiatives that's happening in IIT to improve the demographics within the campus, right? And second part is that I can see that faculty have always been quite savvy, and because of the German DNA that we have had, we have been fairly industry pro industry and wanted to and have been doing a lot of work as part of industry collaborations. Now that is only increased. Our office takes care of corporate relations through CSR projects, right? And we are now working with more than 150 companies every year, and we have touched several hundreds of faculty members as part of this who are all engaged in working on socially relevant research. So there is a lot of focus on the outcome. There is pure research that's happening, but applied research has also really taken up in a big way in the institute. Some of those notable research include, Professor Sujata Srinivasan's, for example, lab on device development, which has been supported by TTJ sir. Actually, so that is on assisted mobility, and they have prepared the wheelchair to help physically differently able to people to stand straight, right? That's one part. We have the largest cancer tissue bank in the country, where more than 10,000 samples of cancer tissues are there, with different samples taken longitudinally from the same patient itself. And this is to enable clinical trials on India genome-based data set, as opposed to the current practice of doing all these tests on Caucasian cells, right? So and ultimately the objective is to come up with a center for precision medicine, trying to understand the response to markers, and to which will help in coming out with more effective medicines and drugs for cancer, for that matter. We have Sudha Gopalakrishnan Center for Brain Research, which is again the largest data on brain, right? What they do is that they take about 7,000-8,000 cross sections of the brain and then try and recreate the whole brain to understand neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and all of that, and also developmental disorders, right? And this has also got global reputation, and a lot of alumni have come forward and supported that whole thing. So there are things like this, and there is another project, Professor Prabhu Rajagopal's project on creating robots to help clean up drainages, to completely eliminate the manual scavenging profession from the society, right? So these are some of really socially relevant work that IIT Madras is taking, and IIT Madras, while it continues to focus on teaching, it has gone into really nation building activities and contributing to the society at a large scale. And many of our faculty members who anywhere they were always part of committees, but now that scale has only increased. They are part of several of the national committees, advisory boards, and things like that, right? So, and we are also looking at democratizing education through our NPTEL platform, which you obviously would have heard of. And our motto is that IIT Madras, IIT for everyone, right? So clearly thinking that we should have the elite education cannot be confined to just 1,000 or 2,000 people. And director envisages that we should have 40, 50,000 students graduating from the institute. Obviously, that cannot be through online, on-campus method alone. That requires us to be achieve this through online methods like hybrid methods and all of that. So that is where NPTEL program comes, and we have a very successful BS online data science program to which for which we have now, I think, more than 30 to 35,000 students have registered for, right? And of course, while the entry is easy for them because IIT Madras is giving a degree certificate from our institute, the course curriculum per se is very difficult. And while but we offer flexibility, like the person can complete it in 6 or 7 years, and all of that, right? And we also give intermediate exit points to make sure that they gain from the education. At the end of first year, a foundation, and at the end of second year, a diploma 1, diploma 2, and at the end of third year, if they drop off, then they get a degree, BSc degree, and then a 4-year BS degree at the end of 4 years. Of course, there has been a funnel, and the people who have gone into the final years, the ratio is very skewed. But having said that, we have seen a lot of people registering from very remote places in Jharkhand or Indore or Manipur or any of these places, right? Like, so there are people from all these places, and that is clearly where we are leveraging the power of digital medium to take our, detailed elite education to the masses. And many of the courses taught by our faculty are now totally available on YouTube, a facility that our generation probably didn't have. I mean, my generation, of course, your generation also didn't have. Right now, like, if you want to listen to some of the topmost faculty members in IIT Madras, their full course is available on the internet, right? So clearly IIT is fulfilling its philanthropic mission and trying to look at things from a nation building perspective, clearly doing a lot of work in that area and doing a lot of things at scale. So these are the, very clearly, these are some of the changes that one has observed over the years. I think, and our office, I run this office of institutional advancement, as you know, so we have a full-time set of several people working in different areas. We a completely professional team working on different aspects of alumni and corporate management, be it in terms of preparing various proposals or be it in terms of ensuring that the funds are deployed properly and providing compliance reports and progress reports and all of that. Of course, IIT Madras is also CAG audited, but even beyond that, we make sure that all progress reports are provided on time and ensuring complete transparency. And then also we have our marketing team runs the, sends out the newsletters talking about various initiatives from the campus. And we have started something called Alma Matters, which is a peer-to-peer. Instead of broadcasting things from IIT all the time, this is to procure articles from the alumni about their chapter reunions or about various things that they have done, interesting things, accomplishments, all of that. So we kind of put that in the Alma Matters and share that across the batches. So there is a clear objective to help to bring the alumni community together. Right. I think these are various things that we do. And as Ashwin mentioned, we have been traveling to various cities to try and meet with our alumni in person, because we believe that beyond Zoom calls and other things, it's absolutely important to meet with alumni, engage with them. And at the end of the day, the institute is clearly built because of the hard work of our faculty members, students, and most importantly, our alumni also. We ride upon the reputation and the brand building that the alumni has done. Right. Clearly, it's a mutually reinforcing system that the alumni benefit from the institute and the institute benefit from the alumni and their accomplishments. So extremely grateful to all of you for supporting and keeping IIT Madras in your heart all the time. Thank you so much for showing up today, and a very warm welcome again to all of you. Hope you have a great time. Always grateful to you and always look forward to welcoming you in our campus. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kaviraj, for your visionary leadership and inspiring address and your valuable insights.
Thank you, Angelina.
Welcome. It is now time to hear from the representatives of the stars of today's reunion, the batch of 1970. I invite the batch coordinator, D. Chandrasekhar, fondly called as DC, to take the stage and share his reflections.
Welcome all my batchmates and the spouses. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm not going to give any reflections. I'm just going to talk about this reunion. This is our 7th reunion in Chennai. So ever since we started the reunions in 1995, we have had many reunions, and this is the 7th. And I thank all of you for having registered and come all the way. We started the planning sometime in June, July last year. But ever since we started the registration, I'm very sorry to say that about 8 people dropped out because of health reasons. Shows our age. So despite all that, we are all here today. I'm very happy. Just a few points on today's program. The director of IIT Madras is likely to come here any moment and will be talking to us. And then we may have some sharing of ideas between our classmates. By about 11 o'clock, we step out for a group photograph. After that, buses have been arranged to take you around the campus. And for those who are interested in visiting specific areas, Sujata is coordinating to take a few people to the brain center and the cancer research place. Then we come back here at about 12:30, 12:45 for lunch and break off. One set of people have wanted to go to the ACJ auditorium in the afternoon. And a bus has been arranged to take you all and bring you back. We are all meeting again at 6:30 at Hotel Taj Clubhouse near Mount Road. I hope all of you have received the direction map. If anybody has any difficulty, please do get in touch with me. As we assemble here, we realize that 54 of our batchmates are no longer with us. So I request all of you to just stand up as a mark of respect for those departed souls. Thank you very much. Our batchmate TTJ has brought a set of gifts for the ladies who are attending the reunion. I request them to be distributed here. Are there any doubts that need to be answered? If there's anything, I will answer it now. Otherwise, I'll hand over the mic to Venkatesh.
Hello, friends. There's a story that when Henry Ford had a contentious meeting with his managers, at the end of the meeting, he would just burst out saying, "Remember, my name is on the building." And that's what we can say today, that we remember that the name of our dear Jagu is on this building. So that's what binds us and brings us back again and again to this wonderful campus and to our a sense of belonging to all that we have here. So DC has asked me to share a few thoughts, and I don't claim to have any profound ideas, but I just thought I'll wrap it up on behalf of all of you, and I'm sure all of you are thinking on similar lines, so it's not going to be something new. But I just thought that it would be good to come together to reflect on where we are and what we want to do. And so in welcoming you to this celebration that marks 60 years since we first met in the summer of 1965, it's 60 years, and also to take us back to exactly 5 years ago when we met in this room, and since then, we're meeting now after 5 years, and all of you will agree that this has been a real roller coaster ride over the past 5 years. These years have been packed with more changes and upheavals than we bargained for, from the emergence of COVID to the increased occurrence of adverse climate events to the remarkable achievements in artificial intelligence. We have witnessed massive shifts that will continue to accelerate and influence the future of humanity. The pandemic has taught us the importance of resilience and adaptability and the critical need for global cooperation. Climate change continues to force us to reconsider the legacy that we will leave for our children and future generations. And more recently, advancements in AI are reminding us constantly that we need to balance innovation with societal and ethical considerations and reinforcing the need for technologies that can be accessible to all and be used for the greater good. Thankfully, we've been able to navigate these tumultuous times and have come together again to mark this special occasion. Clearly, we cherish those years we spent together a very long time ago, but still see value in maintaining those friendships. A combination of good luck, preemptive action, genes, and taking charge of our own lives has kept us, thankfully, fit enough to be able to be present today. But we deeply miss those who have passed on and others who could not make it for a variety of reasons. A special shout out again to the spouses who are here today in large numbers. Ladies, we've known each other for several decades, and you are really honorary IITians, and our friendship is as important as those formed with your husbands. Thank you. Over the years since we graduated, and we've heard from the senior staff of the institute, and we have watched with pride and appreciation as our alma mater grows and excels in many spheres of technology and engineering. While most know that IITM has been ranked #1, as we just heard, for many, many years, many might not be aware of the other exciting developments in disciplines such as humanities, management, and the life sciences that are taking place here. The enhancement in quality and breadth of activity has coincided with a period of tremendous growth in size as well. At the time of our graduation, there were less than 400 graduates at the convocation then, and today nearly 3,000 students graduate every year, of whom, as we heard, more than 20% are women. And when we graduated, it was not even 1%. In addition to the work done within the institute, we note the multiplier effect of the impact of the work of its nearly 100,000 alumni around the world. The caliber and reach of our alums and their achievements here in India and globally have made them leaders of significance in many fields, and their names are increasingly appearing in several national and international awards and accolades. We recently saw a couple of names in the Padma Awards as well. Another point of note, IITM has set new records in the history of alumni resource mobilization among all institutions in India. I think last year was a record global alumni contribution ever made by any university in India. Alumni have opened their wallets to supporting the institute through philanthropy that goes beyond charity. Many of them have proactively identified and expanded the institute activities in several cutting-edge fields like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, brain research, and all of these have come at the with the active participation of the alumni who are making the contribution. Alumni have also worked through advocacy and networking at the highest levels, enabling connections and collaborations between the institute faculty and their counterparts in Indian and foreign universities. The hallmark of a globally reputed institution is the manner in which its standards and norms for excellence in teaching, learning, and research are ingrained into the system for perpetuity. And that's why we say, when we say names like Harvard or Stanford, they are known for something that they've established and set in stone, and that's what we endeavor to do here. And I think IITM is reaching that level. And I hope that we, as the class of 1970, will sustain our engagement and support for the institute and help it achieve this goal. I'd like to move on to share at a more personal level some of my reflections about ourselves and where we stand at this point in our lives. I was intrigued by a recent book, and many of you might have come across that book. It's called Outlive by Peter Attia, where he outlines clear actions that one takes through life, both from a physical or an emotional or a mental or relational or spiritual angle, and how, if we apply them carefully through life, that could enhance the length of our healthy lifespan. And that's why I thought we could use that as a kind of a scorecard to reflect on where we are today. Okay, let's start with physically. We're no longer physically young anymore, and we were reminded of that. And I had one telling moment a few months ago in Toronto when we had a meeting of the IITM chapter there, and a young recent graduate came up to me and said, "Sir, which batch were you?" And all. I said, "Very long time ago, it may not matter to you." He said, no, he insisted. He said, "I'd like to know." And I said, 1970. Then he kind of stood and he said, you know what, sir? My father was not even born at that time. So, and that's what we heard from some of the others as well, right? Kaviraj said that he wasn't born when we graduated. We strive to remain fit, to increase our healthy lifespan, be active, travel, and meet friends and family, and that's what we try to do. It's not all in our hands. But we've been definitely beneficiaries of significant medical advancements in treating critical illnesses, and I think many of us are here today because of those interventions. We are also conscious that in some cases, these treatments could prolong lifespan at the expense of health or quality of life. And we attempt to deal with this by adopting proactive lifestyle, dietary, and behavioral strategies for delaying or avoiding serious illnesses. Mentally, we continue to keep pace with fast-changing technologies that affect every aspect of our lives. After all, we are IITians. At the same time, trend chasing has lost its appeal. We have become selective in the interests we pursue. We are selective about commitments, focusing on what truly matters to us. As we understand our time and energy limits and our priorities better, we have learned to say no to things that do not align with our values and goals. Relationally, we have learned the value of our spouses more than ever before, acknowledging freely and fully that they are the anchors of our lives. While being close to our family and being available to our grandchildren more broadly, at the younger generations, we want to still retain our autonomy for as long as possible. Emotionally, we are at peace with the world. We have addressed our career growth, professional achievements, personal relationships, family commitments, and other duties. We have come to terms with the ups and downs of our lives, each in our own way. The rat race has lost its appeal. We no longer measure ourselves against others' achievements, rather taking pleasure in the high points of our own everyday lives. And this mindset has led to greater contentment and self-acceptance. Last but not least, spiritually, with age, the need for constant approval has diminished. We no longer sweat the small stuff, and this freedom allows us to make choices that aligns with our own values and desires, leading to more authenticity. We start to think about the larger questions of life, our role, our purpose, and our legacy. So I think this is where we are today in our post-retirement phase. Looking forward, what would we find meaningful? For many of us, our approach might be to retain our autonomy and self-reliance for as long as possible. We have enjoyed caring for our families and watch our children grow and prosper. And as time elapses and the tables turn gently, we want to remain available for our family and society as long as possible without needing their care and support. But should a time arise, we must be able to accept that too, with grace and humility. So I've just stirred the pot a little bit and hope that we get a chance over the next few days to talk about these, among other activities, as we get together and have some fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. D. Chandrasekhar and Dr. Venkatesh Mannar, for sharing those wonderful memories and experiences and your heartfelt talk about this 55th reunion. It is always heartening to hear from those who laid the foundation for our institute's legacy.
At IIT.
I now invite Mr. M.P. Sarnath from the 1970 batch to come and talk about this very special 55th reunion, please.
Hello, good morning. I'm MP Sarnath, proud member of the class of 1970, electrical engineering, heavy current, which was probably something which the new batches have not heard about. And is it really 60 years that have gone by since we entered this beautiful campus of moving mountains and stationary rivers? When we entered, most of us, with a few exceptions, were skinny kids with big dreams and not a clue of what the future held for us. In the years that have passed since 1970, when we ventured out into the big, bad world, our lives took several different trajectories. Few of them were planned, but I think most of you would agree that many weren't. For instance, one of us turned into a top cop who chased hardened criminals and smugglers and solved high-profile cases. Some turned to medicine. Some went into the Navy and served our nation in the Navy. Some were successful entrepreneurs. And some even helped tech startups, particularly in the US. And some built bridges. One across the Mahim Creek in Bombay, the famous Sea Link Bridge. Some built bridges across the Ganges, water desalination plants, jetties, and some even manufactured pressure cookers and condoms. Can you believe it? And there's one who gilded temples as well. I'm sure you'll guess who did that. And we also had players in Wall Street and Dalal Street. And we had people who built lovely properties for hotels around the country. And believe it or not, some even ran marathons in different continents. And one of us, believe it or not, yours truly, became a company secretary. So when you look back and see what a diverse kind of trajectory our lives took us, one view might be that all that money that was funded on giving us a top-notch engineering education was wasted. But that would be a cynical view, and I'm sure many of you would not accept that. Those 5 years of hostel life, periodicals, OAT movies, Velachery, etc., molded us to face all of life's challenges. And all the surprises that it threw at us, we were able to cope. The fact that many of us have thrived and survived even in different environments, different countries, different cultures, is a testament to the foundation that we got at IIT Madras. And more importantly, the sense of collaboration that we had with our classmates, that we could always count on them and they were there when we needed them and when we were there to help whenever we could. Today's world is a great deal different from what it was those several decades ago when we entered IIT Madras. So what can the collective wisdom of our class of 1970 offer the students who are entering IIT campus now? And I wish that you would transmit to them some of the things that we can pass on to the students of today. I think one thing you can tell them is, look at us now. We had a wild ride, and we are still standing. We have met ups and downs, but we have somehow survived them. And we can offer this small piece of advice to the students of today, that do enjoy your time at IIT Madras. Do enjoy your time at IIT Madras. Those years which are here, you must engage yourself fully. Have fun. Make strong connections with your classmates because they're going to stand with you in the years to come. Enjoy yourself, go see movies, go out, maybe cycle to Mahabalipuram, swim in the sea if you can. Do all the stuff that is fun in the campus as well. Because you're going to be doing a lot of study, a lot of exams and periodicals. But besides that, these memories that are with us are those moments of joy that we had in those years of hostel and campus life. You must always be prepared to fail before you succeed. And plan as many reunions as we have had in the class of 1970. As DC said, we have had 7 in the campus alone, but we have had many in different parts of the country, many across the different countries as well. And if you do that, and I hope we will be able to do that even now, even though in spite of our advancing years. And I think the presence of our beautiful spouses is another strength that we enjoy, as even Venki mentioned and DC mentioned, that the support that we have had from our wonderful spouses is another reason that we are standing tall here today, even at 75 plus. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. MP Sarnath, from the class of 1970, talking about the different trajectories each of you from the class of 1970 took, which was wonderful and mesmerizing to listen to. It's now my privilege to welcome the director of IIT Madras, Professor Kamako TV, to address us. Please join me in inviting him to address today's 1970 batch reunion celebration, 55 years togetherness, by giving him a warm round of applause. I also invite Mr. D. Chandrasekhar to invite the director. Thank you.
You want to run the video?
You can run the video, then I can.
We will now play a video about IIT Madras.
At IIT Madras, every day, new technologies are developed, spearheading the nation closer to the Viksit Bharat 2047's initiative. Groundbreaking innovations aimed at creating a positive impact on the society is a way of life here. It's no wonder that IIT Madras finds itself in the headlines almost every day.
From the institutional perspective, I would say the most enjoyable thing that I had in the system was freedom. I could build my laboratories, I could expand it, I could go to places to get resources, and the system enabled it. And that contribution of the system as a whole is the cornerstone of success.
IIT Madras, world-renowned faculty members not only mentor but also create and co-create groundbreaking technologies that shape the world.
My research in IIT Madras is on carbon dioxide capture and sequestration. Let me tell you that carbon dioxide capture and sequestration is important because India has committed for this net zero carbon dioxide India by 2070. And this is very much relevant for abating the climate change and global warming which we have been seeing. The research which we have been doing on CO2 capture and sequestration is been applauded by everyone around the world. Multiple industries have got benefited out of it. Very recently, we have basically given some of our processes to different industries around India, and they have already implemented some of these technologies.
Topping the NIRF rankings as the #1 institution in the country 9 years in a row, IIT Madras is now on a bold target, the One Patent a Day initiative.
We wanted one patent every day. Last year, we had 382 patents in the last financial year.
I think one of the most important features that would encourage any faculty member in IIT Madras is the academic freedom that IIT Madras provides. And again, for any faculty members' growth, excellent students. I think IIT Madras provides excellent students. I had the opportunity to work with some of the best minds in my lab. And of course, we do have excellent faculty members with whom I have been able to collaborate.
A crucial factor in IIT Madras' success is its teaching-learning ecosystem. Each month, students provide comprehensive feedback on courses, evaluating everything from the professors' teaching methods to assignment content and quiz effectiveness.
So my research area is based on the synthesis of nanoclusters as well as structure determination through cryo-electron microscopy.
We have the most competing students and the most talented pool of faculties within the campus.
What inspires me the most in IIT Madras is the faculty here. They are very supportive and they always inspire us to push our limits further and explore and come up with new innovative solutions.
IIT Madras runs the world's largest online degree programs. The institute plays a pivotal role in coordinating national projects like SWAYAM and NPTEL, benefiting over 2 million students. The IIT Madras Research Park, India's first university-based research park, is where academia and industry converge to foster innovation. 370 plus startups, including in space technology, 2 unicorns, Aether Energy and Unifor, rupees 47,000 crores combined valuation.
Our lab has incubated 2 companies. We have 2 startups in the IIT Madras Research Park. The first startup was incubated in 2022, which focuses on developing molecular precursors and development of advanced ceramic materials which are under embargo. And therefore, we believe that this company has made a huge impact on the development of ceramic materials for the nation's growth.
Blending tradition with modernity, IIT Madras offers not only state-of-the-art hostels, but also a highly functional infrastructure, delivering a seamless living and learning experience. Nestled in a vibrant reserve forest, where students live and learn in the lap of nature, IIT Madras is more than just an institution. It's a beacon of innovation, excellence, and progress.
So, respected elders, when you all completed your BTech, I was 2 years old. So, please bless me. So, thanks. And again, reunion is something very, very, pleasant experience for all of us. We get to hear a lot of things that we don't know about the institution, and that keeps us going. I'm sure you would have had an opportunity to look at the Heritage Center. If not, after this meeting, I request that you go and visit the Heritage Center. By design, we wanted it to be in the ad block. And every day when I enter, I just look at the Heritage Center, and that tells me this institute is built with hard work of so many people. Better go and administer it properly. That's the message it gives me. We over a period of time, IIT Madras in her genes. So we have made it a policy that IIT Madras is our mother. So in all our communication, we'll say her. Okay. So IIT Madras in our journey, we had always been very, very committed to see that we contribute to the ecosystem at large. And I just want to touch upon some 2 or 3 very interesting initiatives that our institute has taken, which actually means a lot to the society at large. We have the world's largest today, the online bachelor's course in data science and electronic systems. We have more than 37,000 students who are enrolled into this. We don't have an age gap in this. It can be a 17-year-old child is a part of this. And we also have an 82-year-old grandpa who is also doing the course. And the grandpa has a CGPA of 8.2. That's what I heard. Now, what it means to the society, I just want to share a couple of things which I'm sure you'll feel proud about your alma mater. More than 1,000 government school children of Tamil Nadu are now students of our BS program. And if they finish the rest of the 3 years successfully, they will all become IIT Madras graduates. And that's the social outreach. More than 8,000 of the students are below poverty line. But when we started interacting with these people, we found that the talent is everywhere. We went to around 20 corporation schools and selected around 200 children. We trained them for the entrance exam of eligibility test for the BS Data Science. Friends, out of the 200 children, 120 of them cleared the test. And there was a girl, single parent, mother, housemaid. But 3 hours question paper, she cleared in 1.5 hours with 80% marks. This is what intelligence is widespread. It is that we need to provide them these equitable opportunities that will make them big. And I'm sure that girl will be a CEO down the line. If she could actually meet such a challenge and come up, I'm sure she will surely be a great ruler. So, we have several such instances. We have people now, this entire BS data science has become a sort of a very, it's a community program. There is one donor or one well-wisher, not connected to IIT Madras, who travels to India once a year. She's Coimbatore based, just roams about in Coimbatore, finds somebody good but not studying. Then we have a coordinator here, she calls him, and the coordinator helps in training this particular, whatever, identified person, and to get them into the BS program. So we have an instance where a brilliant boy was actually in a petrol bunk. And when the lady met him, he said he has 90+% in the +2, but could not study because of financial reasons. So we trained him in the BS Data Science entrance exam, and subsequently he cleared with 70% mark. 2 years of diploma. Today he is in a 6 lakh per annum job. From a petrol bunk to a 6 lakh per annum job. So friends, this is the sort of transformation we are trying to bring by launching the online courses. And that is one thing I thought that I would like to share with you. So if you find someone even remotely connected, but a deserving candidate who needs help in growth in career, please do approach us, and we will do our best to see that they get a good opportunity for a good education, accessible, affordable, quality education that can actually change their life. Friends, we are also going very deeply into school education, because if you look at the gross enrollment ratio in India, we are at 27%. That is, number of students who clear +2 and come to higher education. 78 of every 100 children are not aspiring for higher education for whatever reason. And the National Education Policy has set a target that we should make it 50% at least by 2035. We believe that we need to go and touch the grassroots. We can't just, talk at the higher level. So we have started this program called Kalvi Shakti, Vidya Shakti. Kalvi Shakti in Tamil Nadu, Vidya Shakti in other parts of India, where we have a television as large as what you see in the front. It's an internet-enabled television. Then our volunteers, our good school teachers, plus IIT faculty and also alumni, log in between 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock every day and teach the kids something related to the school, augment their school education, also talk to their parents, motivate them to do higher education. So we started off with 5 centers in 2022. And I want to recollect one story here, which would be a very interesting point for many of you. Around February end of 2022, 3 girls called me from a village where we had set up this center and said, we are very much interested in biology. We don't have a biology teacher. Can you help us? Because we are failing in biology, but we want a career in biology. We got hold of one of the very good teachers from a school, from a good school here, to come and help them with biology every day in the evening. And friends, in 45 days, these 3 children could score more than 90% out of 100 in biology. And they took a biology-oriented course. So today we are touching around 1,000 Vidya Shakti centers coordinated by IIT Madras. We have in the states of UP, Karnataka, Andhra, Arunachal Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and a few centers in North Sri Lanka. And we would like to grow it into 100,000 centers where your alma mater will start contributing towards the overall education at the school level with motivation to come to higher education. Friends, we have now moving towards innovation and entrepreneurship. So, to sum up on the Vidya Shakti, Kalvi Shakti, I am sure all of you will have some association with some village in India. If you find a village where we can go and contribute, certainly please let us know. We can set up a Vidya Shakti center there and some children can benefit out of it. The next thing I want to tell you, the alma mater now has been focusing more on innovation and entrepreneurship. Last year, the total funding that came through donations were close to 500 crores, in which around 350 were given by alumni who are entrepreneurs. Krishna Chivukula, I think he was a 1970 mechanical M.Tech student, gave shares worth 228 crores. And Sunil Wadhwani gave around 100 crore. And these shares, we expect it to be sold at 500 to 600 crores. Okay. Now the prosperity is there in entrepreneurship. Leave alone the money that IIT Madras has got. These people have been extremely prosperous. They are able to change. They want some change in society and they could be the change. And that has been enabled because of innovation and entrepreneurship. We have been consistently working with the children to tell them either you become great teachers or become great employers rather than employees. 2018, when I was the associate dean of this particular building, the industrial consultancy sponsored research, we started off with what we call as Patent a Day. IIT Madras, I strongly believe that we can do a patent a day. Last year, being a leap year, we were targeting around 366 last financial year. We landed up with 382 patents filed. And this calendar year, Jan 1 to 2024 to December 31, 2024, we have filed more than 400 patents. And this financial year, I am very confident that we would have filed 400 patents plus. When Patent a Day has become a reality, we now thought that why don't we put the next goalpost, which is Startup Shatam, 100 startups a year. Every third day, a startup must be born in IIT Madras. Friends, we have already touched 50 big ideas this year, and at least 12 of them have become startups. And I'm sure within the next couple of years, we will have this 100 startups that come out of IIT Madras. And these come out through a very big filtration process, and I'm sure 80% of these startups can become potentially unicorn. We have an entrepreneurship cell. We have a center for innovation. If time permits, you can go and visit. We have a pre-incubator called Nirman. Then two of our very illustrious alumnus, Chris Gopalakrishnan and Desh Deshpande, have set up the GDC Center. We have 5 incubators, one for cyber physical systems, another for health technology. We have one for rural technology. We have one for financial technologies. We have a bio incubator and overall the mother incubator. Overall, over the years, over last 10 years plus, we have incubated close to 400 companies with a valuation of 53,000 crores, in which IIT Madras, the incubation cell, holds on an average 2%. So this is what we are doing, and we believe when we look at 2047, Viksit Bharat 2047, when India has to become a technology superpower, it is this innovation, entrepreneurship, and sovereignty that we establish by protecting our ideas, at least within India. I think these are the very basic building blocks that can ensure a Viksit Bharat 2047, and we are moving in that direction. The next thing that I would like to mention here is that we are now diversifying. So we have a Department of Medical Sciences and Technology. If time permits, you can go and have a look at it. This is now addressing something which no curriculum has addressed in the past across the world. Friends, health is a very important sector, and as a country, 99% of all our health technologies are imported, and we are now strongly pitching towards indigenization, or what our Honorable Prime Minister says, the Atmanirbharta in medical technology. If you look at traditional medical curriculum, we have anatomy, physiology as the first part, then the engineering modeling of the human body as the second, then we have pharmacology and the devices as the third part, and last one is clinical trials. Traditional MBBS education talks about anatomy, physiology, and directly takes you to the clinical trials, while bioengineering, biotechnology talks about pharmacology, about devices, a bit of modeling, and take to clinical trials. I would strongly suggest that many of you, if you find time, look at a book called Virtual You, which talks about the modeling of the human body. And now we have got a curriculum which will give an engineering perspective to the way the human body works. And we have started this BS in Medical Sciences and Technology Engineering, which we admit through a test called ISER aptitude test. Many of your grandchildren who would be doing their +2 can basically look at this and they can come and join this BS program. It is a world-class program. Like that, we are slowly diversifying. Friends, there were, in the second 6 months of my term, the starting of my term, IIT Madras had a tragedy of 5 suicides in 6 months. And when we started looking at it very seriously, we found that there's absolutely no diversion that the kids have. That holistic development of the young child was missing. So we have now introduced 2 ways of admission into our curriculum. One is called the Sports Excellence Admission, the C, where a person who had won a national championship becomes eligible, or participated in an international championship, for which they would have won some national championships, they become eligible. And with a reasonably okay score in JEE Advanced, they can get into some of the top courses of IIT Madras. We have 5 national champions last year who are now part of our BTech program. This year, we have introduced the Fine Arts and Cultural Excellence Admission, where you become a graded artist of All India Radio, or you win an All India Radio competition, or you win a CCRT fellowship, or several of the Puraskars, national competition Puraskars in fine arts, literature, and a reasonable okay score in JEE Advanced, you get into our BTech curriculum. So we have now diversified. We are trying to bring people with art background, with sports background as a part of our whole community. And we already see very good benefit here. This year we won the overall inter-IIT championship. Girls got the first, and that because of 2 national champions, one squash. That lady was, all of you got S grade. Imagine a cutoff of 99 for S and 70 for A. So this girl was in the 90 categories, and the next was somewhere very, very, very low. So this is a sort of interventions that I believe can make your alma mater more holistic. We are working in those directions. We are also having a lot of interdisciplinary courses. We have a school of interdisciplinary studies. We are focusing more on sustainability. We have a school of sustainability. And we are seeing lot more of interest in building many interdisciplinary courses and interdisciplinary curriculum. We are also becoming international. We are the first ever IIT to start a campus abroad in Zanzibar. It has now taken, the 3rd batch of admission has started happening now. And we are also the first IIT to have a woman director there. In the history of IITs, the 23 IITs, not a single woman director was there. We are the first. So Preeti is leading the IIT Madras Zanzibar effort. So, friends, a lot of things we are trying to do. We are also technologically, we are actually making a bigger outreach. 2 months before, we were the first to release the 3D data of human brain. And if you get some time, please do visit our Human Brain Research Center. The first time anyone has released a 3D data, 3D structured data of, we started with 5 fetal brains, but now we want to do around 200 brains, and that will give lot more insights about how brain functions and several mysteries about brain diseases and their cure. Just another 20 minutes from now, we will be releasing again, first in India, cancer data for the benefit of public. These are all very hard done research. But then these research, if we keep it to ourselves, probably we'll land up with tens of Nature paper and probably, if not, even a Nobel Prize. But we don't want to keep it to ourselves. We just want to open it up to the entire nation, the entire world. And this is the spirit in which each faculty works, giving away whatever they think it is theirs to the benefit of the world. I think that is what is keeping IIT Madras flag flying high. Friends, your alma mater, for 9 consecutive years we have been rated #1. And in the engineering category, and for 5 consecutive years in the overall category. And I hope with all the hard work, you have all laid the foundation of our institute long back. With all the hard work our seniors have done, the students have done, you as alumnus have contributed. I am sure we will keep the flag flying, and let me also assure you that we will keep IIT Madras as one of the most effective societal interface among all IITs. Thank you very much. Yeah, any questions? I'm still teaching, so very happy to answer. The patent list is available on our website. We will just point it to, you can just ask Sumita and give that. Thank you.
In the school program, which interests me personally, where do we get in touch
So
with?
the ACR office can coordinate this. You can just get, and since you have told, may I know your name, please?
I'm Mrs. Sudha Balan. We have met. I'm from NPS International Chennai. I'm the principal
okay.
there.
Yeah. Now I remember, yes.
Right.
Surely we'll catch you.
Yeah,
Never
thank
leave.
you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, yes. Lalita, you are principal of my daughter. And I have come to DAV to get several prizes on behalf of my daughter. Almost, yes, sir.
I want to know what is the progress which you have achieved in the MOU signed, Supreme Court of India signed with IIT Madras for use of artificial intelligence in criminal justice system.
Criminal justice system, who Supreme Court of India has signed? Yes. Now, Supreme Court of India has signed on basically automating the processes, sir, and also the translation. So the MOU, the initial 2 MOUs, 3 MOUs were one on the LMS, the learning management system, trying to bring in digitization to the courts. Second was on translation of judgments, and the third was basically to automate the process of filing. I think in the LMS we have made a lot of progress. On the filing, we'll hear that there will be some 70 plus things that you need to see in an affidavit before allowing it to be filed. That automation, at least 23 parameters have been settled, and the Supreme Court is happy. Some APIs have been given there. And on the translation part, yes, the work is still happening. There have been some good success in the translation. But these two, the LMS system is almost settled, and people are using the LMS system for that basic digital awareness within the Supreme Court. So these are the 3 things that happened as a part of our signing of MOU with, the MOU that we signed with Justice Chandrachud when he was there.
My name is George Verghese.
Yes.
I am proud to say that among the various patents that you've got, 378 per year, you can add 1 more. I got one in my 76th year.
Oh, great. Thank you. Today I am very happy that TDJ sir is here in his auditorium. Thank you, TDJ sir, so please give a round of applause to TDJ. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, and please do visit as many places as possible. We also have black bugs has increased, so general happiness about. We have created a website called behappy.iitm.ac.in where we want to ensure a stress-free campus. So please go through that website, and I'm also happy to tell you that last 1 year, 4 months, we did not have any suicides in the campus. And we were able to address more than couple of hundreds of stress-related issues just because of the interventions that we had done through this website, behappy.iitm.ac.in. So just go there, and if you have any comments and if you feel that you can add any value to that, I'm very happy, because nobody has understood the mind, nobody has understood the thought process. So stress is something, it's a killer, but then we can't avoid it. So early interventions are one that is helping us. So every day morning I pray to God. My predecessor's predecessor, my Pitamaha, has told me that Professor Anant has told me every day morning the prayer you should say to God, God, you have given me this position. I am going to the institute smiling. It is your duty to ensure that I come back home with the same smile. So every day we are pushing like that, because stress is becoming a very important factor, and kids for some reason are not able to take the stress, and the stress comes in several ways. We don't know. So in a lighter vein, I was in the Supreme Court for the NEET case, and that time I met the Solicitor General, and he had a book in his table. He presented me after that. So since we were waiting for it, I started reading. It was a psychiatrist who started, one patient was saying that she was stressed. The psychiatrist started attending to her, and she had everything in life, nothing to feel stressed about. Very great family, money is there, education is there, nothing. But then found out that he hypnotized her and found out that 3 births before she had an incident that is causing stress now. Okay. So I gave up. I said, okay, I don't know what baggage we have. So we are just praying God. So anything that you can go to that website and tell me what we can do, what you can do, I'm very open.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
See, during our time, we were made to work on the swimming pool. We want to find out all those instruments which we left there when we were working as child labor.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Great. So this is one initiative. So you can just see this and help us on. Socializing, as he says, is very, very important. So yesterday we had a marathon, 5K. So from 60 people who used to attend such marathons, now we made it to 300. But we have 10,000 students. Okay, so yesterday evening we had this hostel campaign. So I went there. We have this Mitra and Sati, 2 teams, a very enthusiastic team. We have 200 volunteers. We went to the hostels and started interacting with the kids. So many things we are doing. So let us hope and pray. Only God can help. Then given it to God. Yes, madam. Yeah, entry level we do a complete what you call as a wellness mapping. I don't call it as a psychiatric test or something. We call it wellness mapping. And there we get a lot of red flags, right? And then many of these are personal baggages, family issues, etc. Many things which it's not under our control. To be frank, can you stop the recording? You stopped it? Did you stop it?
Thank you so much, Professor Kamakoti, for your inspiring words and for your visionary leadership, which continues to propel IIT Madras to unprecedented heights of excellence and innovation. To conclude this formal segment of our program, I now take great pleasure in inviting my colleague and friend, Ms. Shweta Bhupati, from the Office of Institutional Advancement to deliver the oath of thanks. Over to you, Shweta.
Good morning, everyone. Before we break for a quick campus tour, I would like to sincerely thank the batch of 1970 for being here today. It's truly special to have you back on campus to celebrate these milestones with us. A heartfelt thank you to Professor Kamakoti, Director IIT Madras, for joining us today. I would also like to thank Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, Kaviraj, and Ms. Sujata for addressing the audience today. A special thanks to ICSR and Kannan Sir team for all the support. And lastly, a big thank you to our fantastic ACR and IA teams for all their efforts in organizing this event. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Shweta, for your heartfelt gratitude and acknowledgement. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request all of you to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Let's commemorate this special occasion with a group photograph. We kindly request everyone to proceed to the entrance of ICSR, where we will gather to capture this cherished moment, a celebration of 55 incredible years of togetherness and lasting memories. Thank you.